What's going on, and welcome back to another less than 5 minute gear review. And in this video we're going to be going over the European company Black Trident's Stop the Bleed STB02 tourniquet retention system for all of your belt mounted tourniquet solution stuff that you may be looking for. Now with that, a quick disclaimer. So I have a really good friend that is working for Black Trident right now, and they periodically send me a handful of products to test and review, give them my input, so that way they can better their products to be able to help out all of their military and law enforcement guys in that European AO, and make sure that they're getting the equipment that's going to help them accomplish their mission and keep their guys alive. So they send me products, like I said, every now and then. I don't get paid for it. I just do it as a favor to help them out, so that way it helps out all of their dudes when it comes to the problems and the things they face out there. So with that, when it comes to the STB02, this guy's going to cost you roughly around 27 to 30 bucks. Shipping from Europe and importing it really doesn't cost that much more. So if it is something that you are interested in, it isn't going to cost a whole lot to get it into the United States. So that is a benefit when it comes down to this guy. But when it comes to the overall construction and kind of setup, as far as colors and camo patterns, you do have a couple of different options. Construction-wise, almost everything is double stitched all the way through. So this thing is very robust, and those stitches and thread and all of that aren't going to come apart, and this isn't going to fall apart very easily on you when it comes to that tactical environment and enduring the torture that it can put on there. So, but with that, it's primarily made out of just elastic. I believe this is 4 or 5 inch elastic from what I remember. And then you do have a little bit of loop Velcro on the interior, and then your hook Velcro on the exterior. So when you slide this onto your belt, it is going to take up that Velcro space and then replace it, so that way it will still adhere to whatever inner belt you are running. So very well thought out product when it comes down to it. When it comes to setting this up on your belt though, just real quick, before we get into all of the little loop portions, I would recommend, when you're setting this up, take a piece of cardboard or paper, fold it over itself, and that way when you set this up on your belt, that Velcro isn't going to want to grab onto the interior Velcro portion that you see here and get all bound up and make it really difficult to set up on your kit. So with that, we have that cardboard just right inside of there. We're going to run the belt through. And then once you get to your Velcro portion, you're just going to situate it exactly where you want, and then all you have to do from there is pull that Velcro portion out, press it into place like so. Like you can see, it replaces that Velcro portion right there, so you still have Velcro. And then from there you can set up your tourniquet and Chemlight and marker for everything that you're going to need for applying a tourniquet and providing self-aid and buddy aid. So primary portion right here is for your tourniquet, and that's just going to slide right in like so. It is a really tight fit initially, but over time it will kind of break in and it will come out and be replacing all that a lot more easily, just because the material is kind of worn in a little bit. But the primary portion is for your tourniquet. The bottom portion, or the top portion, is then used for Chemlights and markers. So you can throw a Chemlight there at the bottom to be able to mark. Whether you want to use an IR or a red, you can definitely use either one of those. And then you also have a slot for your marker to be able to mark the timestamp on that tourniquet. So overall, when it's all set up on your belt, it'll look something like that. And with the retention on this thing, I have no doubt that this thing is going to stay in place, because it is pretty tight. It's not going to move on you when you're running and gunning and all that stuff. So with that, that pretty much sums it up all together. Just a quick note at the end, I guess, is when it comes to tourniquets, 1 is none, 2 is 1. You always want to have tourniquets, especially for your leg injuries, because some of those bleeds, especially with dudes with really thick thighs and muscular thighs and all that stuff, it can take 2 or more tourniquets to be able to stop that bleed. So always have 2 on your kit. This is one of the preferred methods that I have, so I'll have 1 tourniquet here on or center on my belt, so that way I can access it with either my left or right arm. And then I always have another tourniquet that is just at the bottom of my plate carrier, so that way I can do the same thing. I can access it from either the left side or the right side and apply that as needed for any of those extremity wounds. So With that, if you have any questions, please feel free, leave a comment. We will help you out in any way that we can by answering those questions. And with that, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.